Abbas' tolerance towards Christians was part of his policy of establishing diplomatic links with European powers to try to enlist their help in the fight against their common enemy, the Ottoman Empire. The idea of such an anti-Ottoman alliance was not a new one. Over a century before, Uzun Hassan, then ruler of part of Iran, had asked the Venetians for military aid, but none of the Safavids has made diplomatic overtures to Europe, and Abbas' attitude was in marked contrast to that of his grandfather, Tahmasp I, who had expelled the English traveller Anthony Jenkinson from his court on hearing he was a Christian. For his part, Abbas declared that he preferred the dust from the shoe soles of the lowest Christian to the highest Ottoman personage. In 1599, Abbas sent his first diplomatic mission to Europe. The group crossed the Caspian Sea and spent the winter in Moscow, before proceeding through Norway, Germany, where it was received by Emperor Rudolf II, to Rome, where Pope Clement VIII gave the travelers a long audience. They finally arrived at the court of Philip III of Spain in 1602. Although the expedition never managed to return to Iran, being shipwrecked on the journey around Africa, it marked an important new step in contacts between Iran and Europe, and Europeans began to be fascinated by the Iranians and their culture. Shakespeare's 1601 to 12th Night, for example, makes two references, at II.5 and III.4, to the Sophy, then the English term for the Shahs of Iran. Henceforward, the number of diplomatic missions to and fro greatly increased. The Shah had set great store on an alliance with Spain, the chief opponent of the Ottomans in Europe. Abbas offered trading rights and the chance to preach Christianity in Iran in return for help against the Ottomans. But the stumbling block of Hormuz remained, a vassal kingdom which had fallen into Spanish Habsburgs' hands when the King of Spain inherited the throne of Portugal in 1580. The Spanish demanded Abbas break off relations with the English East India Company before they would consider relinquishing the town. Abbas was unable to comply. Eventually Abbas became frustrated with Spain, as he did with the Holy Roman Empire, which wanted him to make his 400,000 plus Armenian subjects swear allegiance to the Pope, but did not trouble to inform the Shah when the Emperor Rudolf signed a peace treaty with the Ottomans. Contacts with the Pope, Poland and Moscow were no more fruitful. More came of Abbas' contacts with the English, although England had little interest in fighting against the Ottomans. The Shirley brothers arrived in 1598 and helped reorganize the Iranian army. The English East India Company also began to take an interest in Iran, and in 1622 4 of its ships helped Abbas retake Hormuz from the Portuguese in the capture of Hormuz, 1622. It was the beginning of the East India Company's long-running interest in Iran.